happy. No, no, no. Paciencia, pásala.
Habla con todos, da tu amor, sí, da tu amor.
Hola.
Hola. Paciencia. Pásala. Un mensaje de la Fundación para una vida mejor.
Okay, class, comments. You can say it in Spanish, English or Spanish, the comments about the video class. Let's see. Lucia, tell me, Lucia, then Rebecca.
El tema se trataba de la paciencia y de que uno tiene que tener paciencia para todo.
Para todo, tener paciencia. Excellent. Rebecca.
This topic are yes, the same as Lucia. And I see one boy walking in a work of their dad, and the dad are angry but have how can I say patience in English?
To be patient, this boy. Do you think that this boy might be it might be the grandfather or maybe the father, right? But it looks like the grandfather here. Yes. So you have to be patient, class.
The boy, the grandfather
Was
work,
doing.
the boy are the street.
Yes. Look at here. It was working maybe with kind of cement, and then it was this little boy walking. And then in other cases, some people might be angry. But in this case, look at the boy. He was having some patience. He was like, I'm not going to say anything. You can. You made a mistake, but I'm going to be patient. I'm going to correct you, but being patient. So here we have this value of this mom class. When you try to be patient, ¿cuándo ustedes son pacientes, class? Can you tell me any comment about this? Maybe when you are doing your homework or when you understand something. Do you think that you can be patient in those cases?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, you can be patient when you don't understand something. For example, you can be patient, but it doesn't mean that you're going to say, no, I'm going to do it later. No, you can try to do it, but being patient that slowly you're going to be learning anything. So also patience can be applied in different events class. So that was the value of this month. I'm going to share also this video through Schoology, so you can rewatch the video. Now let's start with the class of science. Have ready your notebook, class. But before we start with the topic of today, we're going to review the last topic of the last class. Remember that we talked about the different lights and shadows, how it looks when it's in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. So let's, in the midday, sorry. So let's start here. Here we have
the sun's light turns night into day. The sun also makes shadows. The shadows change shape as the sun moves across the sky. Let's find out why.
Okay, so here is describing how it looks in the afternoon and during the morning until the afternoon, the shadows of this tree. Now, let's go next. Here.
Sunlight lights up everything it shines on. If an object blocks the sunlight, the place behind the object is dark. The dark shape is called a shadow. When this happens, it's called casting a shadow. Look at the clock. It's 9 o'clock on a sunny morning. Where the tree blocks the sunlight, there is a shadow on the ground. The shadow looks like a long, stretched out tree.
Okay, look at here, what it's saying this boy. Look at the clock, it's 9 o'clock And how it looks the shadow on the ground. It looks like a long stretch out the tree. Here it is. And you see, where is the sun? The sun is on the, in which side? We can see that it's on the east side because in the morning, the sun is in the east side, but the shadow must be on the west,
During the day, the sun moves across the sky. As it moves, the shape of the shadow changes. Look at the clock. It's now 12 o'clock. When the sun is high in the sky, the shadow looks short and squashed.
Yes, now we are in the midday at 12 o'clock and look how is the shadow. It's like in the north, it's the sun, and in the south, it's the shadow. It looks like in this way.
The sun are in the middle.
Yes, that's right, like in the middle. Now, let's go.
As the sun starts to go down, the shadow stretches out again. But this time, it's on the other side of the tree. Remember that shadows are made by the light from the sun. So when the sun moves, the shadows move too.
Yes, now it's 6 p.m. At 6 p.m. when you see the shadows in this way is because we're in the afternoon. It's like, it's the sunset of the sun. So it's the sunset of the sun. It's now on the west, the sun, and the shadow is on the east. It's the contrary of the morning. The morning was in this side, in the east, the sun, in the sunrise, and the shadow was on the west. Now it changed.
Discover the shadows that different things make. Move the sun and watch the shadow change. Choose an object and see what shadow it casts.
Okay, tell me which object you want to see.
Move the sun to watch the shadow change.
The flower.
See if you can cast long and short shadows.
Okay, the flower. Let's see the flower. How is the shadow? Look at here on the midday. Now, if we want to see in the morning, look at here how it is in the morning. As the hour passes, the shadow of this flower is going to be changing. Here on the afternoon, it's going to look in this way. Remember, it's going to be on the west, the sun, and the shadow is going to be on the east. That it looks for the flower. Now let's see this boy on the bicycle. Look at here in the midday, when you're in the bicycle, you can see your
boy
own shadow.
aplasted the flower.
Okay, now in the morning, look at here, it's 10:32, the hour. 10:32, it looks the sun in this way. But what happened at 4? Let's see, at 4 p.m. in the afternoon, it looks like in this way. Look, it's 8 p.m. and the shadow looks like in this way. What about the girl? Look here, in the midday, you can see your own shadow like you are an X. Because in the south and in the north, it's the sun. In the morning, sometimes you cannot see your own shadow because it's the morning. You cannot see it, but it's there. During all the day, we have a shadow. It's going to be changing, and sometimes we cannot see it so clearly. It depends on the hour of the day. The same for the umbrella. Look at here. It's the same. Just the form, the shape, it's changing of the shadow according to the object that it's gonna be, like the trios. Okay, now that was a review. Remember in the last class we talked about this. Now let's start with the topic for today. That is also related. Let's copy this in your notebook. Different surfaces and temperature. Measuring the air temperature. Tell me, Marcelo.
The page que teníamos que imprimir.
For today in science?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have it for today in science. That was in language. That is in language, Marcelo. Yes. Now, copy this. In language, we're going to use. Right now, we're in science. So copy this. I'm going to give you 1 minute, 2 minutes to copy this topic in your notebook.
I finished.
Okay.
Finished.
Finish class the copy?
No.
No? Okay, I'm going to take the attendance while you finish to copy the topic in your notebook. Ana, Andrea, and Camila.
Present.
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 Okay, thank you. Gabriela, Isabela, and Kiara.
Present.
Present.
Okay. Lucia, Mia, and Rebecca.
Present.
Rosa, Valerie, and Sian.
Present.
Sian is here? Yes, right.
Yeah.
Alberto, Dani, and Fernando.
Present.
Hermes,
Present.
Joshua, and Khaled.
Present. Present.
Marcelo, Santiago Hernandez, and Santiago Chavez.
Present.
Thank you. Santiago Chavez. Not today. No. Okay, let's go to the next slide, class. Now, we're going to talk about different surfaces and the temperature, and also, this is another topic, but it's related, measuring the air temperature. Now, let's look at this picture, class. What do you see here? What is this?
Temperature.
So hot. So hot day.
It's hot, but what is this object?
Temperature.
Thermometer.
That's
Something
right,
like that.
excellent, Joshua. It's like that, and what is used for?
To
What is it used
measure the temperature.
Excellent. It's to measure the temperature to see if hot or cold is the day. And look at here. It can be in some places they use the Fahrenheit, and here we use the Celsius. So the Celsius or the Fahrenheit is the way like that we can measure hot or cold is the day. Excellent. You got it.
And how
Now,
we can meet that is cold? How can we know that is the cold that are measuring or the hot?
okay, by using the thermometer. Here, I'm going to explain that, sweetie, but let me go back here, the presentation. Here, it depends. Look at here. There are some numbers. You can see some numbers here on the Celsius, for example. If it is on 50, do you think that if it is on 50 here, we have from 0 to 50. From 0 to 50, it means that it's going to be hot. But if you have from 0 to this 40, so they are under here, you have 0, 10, 20, it's going to be cold. So with these numbers, little numbers that you see, they can measure, the specialists can measure if it's going to be hot or cold.
Pero ¿cómo funciona eso? Identifica la verdadera.
Okay, we're going to see it here. We're going to see it here. So we have the first part and the second part we're going to know. In the first part, it says different surfaces and temperature. If you have your book, open your book on page C10. Page C10, you have the information there. Sometimes it's hot all the day, but it depends where you are located also. Have you seen that when you are in the black, here we have, if you are walking in the blacktop, if you are walking on the cement or in some buildings, you can feel like your shoes, they can be like hot sometimes, or you feel that it's cool. It depends of the structure, class. It depends of the structure. So, for example, if you are in the grass, if you are walking on the grass, how do you feel, class? Cool? Or you feel warm, your shoes or your feet?
Más o menos.
Normal.
Normal. Okay, depends. What happens if you're walking now on the beach, class? In the sand of the beach?
Hot.
Hot. Yes, it can be hot. So it depends. So why does some surface stay cool while other surface get hot? It says here the answer of the question. The sunlight falls equally on all of them, in all the structures. However, different surfaces absorb different amounts of light energy. Some surfaces get hot faster than others. For example, the blacktop, cement, and the buildings warm quickly. The large bodies of water warm slowly. Warmer surfaces heat the air above them more than cooler surfaces do. So all of them receive the same amount of sunlight. But it depends on the structure. Is it going to be the way that they absorb this energy that is going to be hotter than others. So during summer day, it says that the ocean here in the picture heats us more slowly than the land around it. Why? It depends, because remember that way that it's absorbed. In the ocean, the air is going to be cooler. The air is going to be cooler than the air on the land. So here is going to be cooler than on the land on here on the road that you see here. Now, the air temperature, how can we measure the air temperature? Remember here, you mentioned that you use a thermometer. So it's a tube with a liquid inside. There is a liquid inside, there is a liquid. So when the air around the liquid gets warmer, the liquid is going to get warmer. So then the liquid expands or spread out. It moves out, as I was telling you, it's going to be up. It's going to be up. This liquid that you see here. Now, when the air around the liquid is cooled, so the liquid contracts, or it's going to be down. It moves down to the thermometer, to this object. So remember, from 0 to 100, in this case Celsius, if you see that it's on 0 and it starts moving up this liquid, it means that it's getting warm. But if the liquid is moving down, so it means that it's gonna be cool. Yes? Now, look at the picture here. We have the picture here, and it says, find the letter C on the thermometer on the right, and the C stands for Celsius. The letter C stands for Celsius, as I tell you, and it has that degrees. So, for example, in this case, we have 35, because we have the 30.
That is normal, but
we have the 30, yes, the 30, 35 Celsius. The 35 Celsius. So 35, it's normal. It can be like kind of hot in some places, where 35, it's like here in Tegucigalpa that we are at 35 Celsius every single day.
in San Pedro?
Yes, San Pedro Sula, Choluteca, 35. But what happened when we are at 10 Celsius? It's cold, right? We need to be wearing a sweater maybe when it's so 10. Cold. Yes, but we cannot get -10. -10 in our country, we don't get -10. Just in La Paz or Cotepec, in some places like that, they have got it like -1.
There are countries that
but in other countries,
are hot, but other are so-called like Alaska, Russia, something like that.
Yes, they can get minus. Excellent. Now,
in the United States?
Yes, it depends on the country, remember. In our country, we can get more. Yes, now let's copy this in the notebook. We're going to write the vocabulary in the notebook and also these questions. We have 3 questions, yes, to copy in the notebook about the information of today.
What are we going to copy?
Everything. Copy everything from 1 to 7. From 1 to 7 is what you have to copy.
Okay, here I only copy 3 in case they...
Completely answer the question.
Okay.
So we have from 1 to 7. Number 1, in the first part, from 1 to 4, we're going to complete these statements using the vocabulary. Here we have cooler, Celsius, warmer, and thermometer. Now, Using these words, we need to match according to the meaning of them. For example, number 1, the air temperature is measured with a tool called, how do you call this tool?
Thermometer.
That's right. So that is going to be the answer number 1. So we are going to complete it.
Thermometer.
Now, number 2, it says a high number means temperature. If you have a high number, means that how is going to be the temperature if it is high, the number?
Celsius.
It's going to be Celsius, warmer.
What?
Cooler.
It's going to be warmer, the high number. Remember, if you have 100 Celsius, for example, 100 Celsius, it's a high number. So that means that it's going to be warm. Now, a lower number means that how is going to be the temperature? Cooler. That's right. Excellent. For example, if it is a 20, it's going to be cooler. If it is a 50 Celsius, it's going to be warmer, the temperature. And the last one, it says, is a metric scale for measuring temperature. How do you call the letter C? Celsius. Remember that it's with just a letter C, the representation here, Celsius. The metric scale for measuring the temperature.
Teacher, copy all.
Yes, copy everything from 1 to 7. Here, from 1 to 7. Finish the first part? Now, the second part it says, why do some surfaces stay cool while other surfaces get hot?
By the climate?
Remember, we have the example there. That's the surfaces that we talk about, the how in the street, it can be hot, the land, comparing with the ocean, for example, here with the sand. So some surfaces, remember, they receive the same sunlight. The sunlight, it's equally in all them. But the surfaces, they absorb different in different way this light energy. Light energy is absorbed in different way in these surfaces. So some surfaces get hot faster than others.
Miss, yo pensaba que en la beach, la arena, ahora en las caricaturas, yo pensaba que en ese momento estaba caliente. Pero cuando yo creo, está caliente, está caliente.
Here is a mistake. Here is Dan. It's missing the letter H class. So remember, Dan is with TH. Dan. Here is missing the letter H. Dan, others. Now, give some examples of surfaces that get hot very fast. Different surfaces that can get hot. And then we have some examples of surfaces that warm slowly. Well, some examples that get hot very fast, we have the blacktop. They're the same that were included on the book. The buildings, the sand, the metal, and the surfaces that warm slowly. We have the grass, the bodies of water, the ocean, and the rivers. They warm slowly. So the absorption of the light energy is slowly in these cases.
This looks only the sign. Y me queda este espacio para la regulación. Pero creo que está, sí está.
Now, remember that you have one homework in science class. Your homework is on Schoology. You have an Schoology assessment about the topic of today, some questions about the topic of today and about the topic of the last class that we talk about the light and the shadows of the objects.
On this quiz, no can use the notebook, yeah?
Sorry, Rebecca, can you ask me one more time?
In the homework of science, can use the, no can use the notebook, yeah?
No, the science homework isn't a Schoology, it's an assessment. So you need to complete it on a Schoology, not in your notebook, on a Schoology.
No, my question is, can I use the
Can you use your notebook, the annotations?
Yes.
No, before read the information that you have in your notebook, read the information that is on the book, and then with all that information that you read before, so you can complete the assessment, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
And I finished.
Finish the copy? Show me your notebook if you finished. Okay, thank you, Colette. So if you finish, you can go, you can disconnect and see you next class.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Marcelo, thank you so much, Marcelo. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Anna. See you next class.